Crickets.
We are tWoTcast episode 337.
All right, everyone shut the f*** up.
Wheel of Time. Reread podcast. Explicit and R freaking rated. John is the wild card, always talking shit. Joe's the straight man. He's a total dick. Tom calls in if he's not too busy. We are tWoTcast!
Tom is here. Interesting.
The chain,
Interesting.
the chain in the toilet tank disconnected. So I went in for a quick pee, and I had to put the toilet tank together before I
Do some internet.
Good. Very nice.
wasn't
Consummate professionals, as always.
Yeah.
well, fix the house or run back outside to be on a fucking dick and fart joke.
You're
show.
viewing tWoTcast, the Wheel of Time Reread podcast, now covering whatever we want that's loosely related to the Wheel of Time. This, more than loosely related to the Wheel of Time, is the companion. With me, as always, is Jono.
Jono.
And I'm Joe, and Tom is frequently, but not always, here too. Specifically, if his toilet chain is broken.
It just
Study your plumbing.
study your math.
Yeah.
There's a lot of math in plumbing.
Yeah.
If you guys don't know what we're doing for some reason, we're covering the Wheel of Time companion. And today's episode is brought to you by the letter L.
Oh. That's all I got. It's just
Jono, Lano of
Yeah.
tWoTcast.
Thanks, Lo. Yeah.
My name is Joe.
Invite on the show. Mario,
Yeah.
best plumber. Although maybe
I don't know.
next.
Why would you say
That's
it's
for
brought to you
next
by
week's episode when
the
we
letter
cover
L? And your response is, oh.
Oh,
What about the second best plumber, Luigi?
Should've
He
got
would work for this
oh.
episode.
I totally forgot Luigi. If I do the letter O, I sound like
It would have even worked with your dumb joke, and it just didn't do with it. It's okay. We all know Luigi jerks off behind it. Shameful.
Yeah.
All
Nobody knows what that means.
right. Our guest today for this lovely episode, brought to you by the letter L, of course. Do I not have? Is Jenny, Lezbinerdy.
Should have led with the Lezbinerdy part.
I mean,
That is the L. That is true.
Yeah.
yeah, it's the L.
It should be Lenny Lesbi Lerdy.
or just be David.
I don't know if I want to be a Lenny. Also, Lerdy sounds awful.
Lenny. You know,
I
Lenny
believe
from
Lerdy
Christmas
is an
Horror.
STD. Yeah.
Wait, no, wait. What would that insult be if you called somebody Lerdy?
I don't know.
It does sound bad though.
It sounds like it just sounds unpleasant. Like it
Like, would
feels
you-
like, is it a racial slur? I'm not sure. Am I offended? Like,
There's fucking
Yeah, I
words all over the place. Am I right? Like, oh,
yeah.
wait, what are
I think
words?
Well, we have
I
a
think it's-
second guest.
Yeah.
I think it's
Well,
Oh, fine. Let's
Yeah.
move right past this Lerdy talk. Got a lot
I
to
don't
say.
think I don't think this discussion about lerdiness
Yeah.
qualifies leaving our second guest backstage. Anyway, Lauren from Unraveling the Pattern is here. I mean, unraveling the ladder.
The latter.
Hey guys,
Quality.
Shake
of-
the hell.
Hey.
gotta hold
Hey,
this
Lauren.
up the whole time,
Oh.
right?
Yes, you do.
Yeah, you're gonna do that the whole
Yeah,
time.
yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm done.
Let's see if Jenny can do that too.
I'm amazed you got that right with the reflect. Wait,
Oh, I don't. I just guess. Is it right? I don't know.
What you
Yeah,
you just
well.
did there with your tongue, that was Lerdy.
Yeah. Fucking Lerd.
Was it lewd and lascivious?
That's what I was
no,
thinking.
I see.
All at once.
We're gonna keep this up because I will lose.
Licentiousness?
Just a lewd nerd. That's what I thought.
Right.
Well,
Right.
so hello, guests, and welcome. Do we do the whole, like, tell us about yourselves, or we just assume they know
Well,
better?
I think I would think
Yeah.
so.
Okay.
I
Joe,
mean,
tell us about yourself.
We can pretend that most of our audience doesn't also know them, but
Joe, if there's
you know,
even
I guess
one
if they,
that doesn't,
I guess if they don't,
Nobody
why
knows
don't
me.
you, Lauren? Why don't you tell us about your show real quick? If, assuming somebody watching this doesn't.
How
know
about
you.
I tell you guys about Jenny and she tells you about me?
Oh, that's great. You can-
I love it.
Okay.
Is that all right?
Go ahead. Yeah.
Jenny has this amazing YouTube channel called what is it? Lezbinerdy. That's what it's called.
What is it?
I wanted to say Nesby Lerdy because I got all that. She has the best insights about the Wheel of Time, and she is so positive and energetic, and I just love her channel so much. And it's a shame she doesn't have 50 million subscribers. So go to Lezbinerdy on YouTube and subscribe because her insights about Wheel of Time and
links in the description.
a lot of other nerdy things like Sandman. She has some great Sandman videos that came out recently,
Oh,
and
interesting.
reactions to other shows. Always a good time. She's also just a delight. I got to meet her in person, and she isn't actually a floating head.
Huh.
And
Yeah, what? You're
What?
revealing all of my secrets.
that's the
So
weird thing.
behind
She
the
doesn't have a
scenes.
head. She's just a body. That's the
Yeah,
weird
that's true.
Just a decapitated cartoon body walking around.
I'm the headless
You're holding up a
lesbian.
phone.
Your whole
Really
YouTube
sad.
your whole YouTube channel is just the fantasy is I wish I had a head.
That's pretty much it. Yeah. Yes, it's not that I wish I had a torso and arms. It's I wish I had a head. So,
Well,
That was
okay.
quite yeah, that
Jenny,
was a build up.
Lauren really stacked the deck because now you have to be like super nice to him.
Yeah, you
it's
better.
gonna be-
That's what I'm expecting.
it is pretty easy because Lauren's content on unraveling. I'm just looking at you. Unraveling the pattern. Unraveling the pattern.
Pallern.
Yeah, the Pallern. I didn't even see. Oh gosh. But yes, is truly fantastic. Lauren is amazing with his editing and stuff. I have Bodhi. Anyway, I've actually gone to Lauren for help on numerous occasions when I get like I don't understand how to do this. Lauren is very, very good with with editing, and his content is beautiful to watch. He does these great breakdowns where he goes into the effects of the show and the shots of the show. And right now, I'm very excited about this. I'd have to comment on it. He's doing these 1-minute breakdowns of all of the episodes, which I'm very excited about because my sister, one of my sisters watched the show and she wanted to talk to me about it, but she's like, I need a refresher. And so I went online trying to find refreshers, and they're all spoiler. Everybody drops spoilers in the middle of them. Whereas Lauren does these great videos where he doesn't spoil things, or he gives very, very clear spoiler warnings at the beginning.
Okay.
101 series, the WOT 101 series. Also, I've sent that to friends of mine who are like, okay, how do you explain this without, don't spoil me on anything, but can you explain this? And I go, well, actually, watch this video.
Unraveling the Pattern can explain that very well.
Yes, with wonderful effects.
I think one of my favorite things about the companion so far is that we've had better guests than us every time.
I was gonna say,
just nicer people, more quality people, more capable people every time. Like, oh yeah, we'll do your dumb show, and I'm like,
it always feels like a large compliment when everyone when guests such as yourselves decide to grace us with your presence.
I was going to say, now that they've done this, now do us. What do you got?
Yeah.
Who are you?
Talk about how good looking it is.
Oh God!
I use.
They should have hung up the hat 10 years ago. That's our last review. Some people on the internet are calling us a show on the internet. High praise, I thought.
I think everybody is. No, that's not true. We got shout outs. We got somebody on an actual website include us in an article today, Joe. So
that's true.
Yeah, I saw that actually. Yeah.
I thought that description of us was wildly accurate.
Yeah, we should probably.
So Jono sent that link, and I looked at it, and I was like, "Oh, that's nice. Somebody has a blog." And then I looked at it, and I was like, "This is a website."
It's a real
with content, with regular content. I don't understand. So I enjoyed that.
Enough about our own. As you can tell, we took your nice compliments and turned it into a compliment of ourselves because we're dicks.
As we'd always do. Yeah, of course. That's our job.
I mean, self-promotion is a whole thing.
I self-promoted twice today.
That's why we're here.
Yeah.
I didn't have time to self-promote because I was reading the companion. Should we?
Right.
We should talk about the companion. Today's episode of tWoTcast is brought to you by the letter L.
Just to clear things up, I meant jerk off.
Yeah, I know.
What?
So did I.
What?
Very confused. But tWoTlast, my misspelling of our name is my favorite kind of lube.
Yeah.
Oh, Lord.
Let's get into the Wheel of Time companion.
Walking in the sky, but if it's injured, it won't fly. Take a look, it's in the book, the Wheel of Time companion. Friends can go anywhere, but he has to know the embarkation to go and open a portal. Mad jokes about anything. Martin Bailey's cards on page 95, the Wheel of Time companion. Because we'll read them now and into the Patreon.
That was amazing.
I
Wow.
love that every time. Hey,
so
look at this
good.
nice comment from Unraveling the Pattern. Who's that? I don't know.
It's so good.
No idea who that is.
I always
Oh,
enjoy
man, that's my favorite.
surprising the guests with it.
It's amazing.
I can't get over it. I usually I don't laugh the entire time. Then it gets to the very end when she doesn't have anything. She needs an extra syllable, and she just says Jono and Jono, Joe, and Tom Tom. It's my favorite. It gets me every time. I can't not laugh.
Taffy Bennington's a creative powerhouse, and
Yeah, she's fantastic. Anyway, Wheel of Time
everything she
companion,
does.
letter L. Jono, what do you have for us
Look,
tonight?
you want to go to me first? Do we want
Why
to
wouldn't
start? All right. Let's start on page 394 then.
I'm gonna need this.
Suddenly, I feel like I'm in Sunday school.
Turn to page 395.
What
As
version?
I was saying before we went live, I do not have a physical book, so y'all are
Despite
gonna
all
That's
these
okay.
books,
We'll read it for you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Joe will give a breakdown before we start.
Yeah, enjoy when we get to Rand. Joe will read the whole thing for you.
Okay, great, thank you. So we've got
Layla Darren Lewin was someone in book 4. It's a young woman in the Two Rivers. Before she married Natalie Lewin, she was slim and could dance 3 boys in the ground. At one point, Perrin wanted to marry her, and she him. When Perrin saw her at Jack Alstein's farm after her marriage, she had grown stout and had an infant. Her entire thing is the perils of motherhood as Robert Jordan. It's a very sad intro. She got knocked up, not hurt anymore. Oh, thanks, Robert Jordan.
She had grown stout.
I always found that weird because Perrin's reaction
rude.
to that was like, "Oh man, I dodged a bullet," and I was like,
yeah.
It sounds like she's a new mother.
Yeah.
And like,
So rude, Baron.
I mean, I hope Fail doesn't put on a lot of weight when she gets pregnant, or other parents just going to be like, "Man, what have I done?" Like, it's really weird.
Yeah. Interesting. Bringing up Layla right now, I yesterday, well, my time yesterday, probably early this morning, your time, but released a video on my channel where we were doing like a continuation of something that happened at WalkCon, the 5 Minutes in Heaven panel, where they were like adding 5 minutes to each episode of the Wheel of Time, like what you would add. And I did it with Allie from the Wheel Takes podcast and Bree, who is an author. So I thought I would have, because Allie is she works with scripts, like that is her her entire job. And so
we know Allie.
She's like, I got this.
Yeah, like doing it with actual writers. And
she's like, 5 minutes is too long.
She kind of was actually, but I didn't touch Layla at all in episode 1, and both of the professional writers that I had on added to Layla's storyline in episode 1, and like listen, it's brilliant. Both of them, I was like, oh, that it makes it so much better if you make her storyline more, if you flesh it out more, make her more of a person.
Yeah.
What are the odds that the first entry is something you just did a show about?
It's weird.
We're here to help. We're a very clever podcast. Do you think that this was supposed to be the character? I never really thought about it because I'd always forgotten. No offense to all mothers and mothers in general, but I'd kind of forgotten that she was a side character for all of like 3 sentences and then started quickly.
Yeah. Well, I think that they had to. Like, I think that's why they said Layla and not just like another random name.
Yeah, sure. I agree.
Connected with,
Yeah, I thought of it as this is their kind of wink to say this is literally another turning, because in another turning, Perrin did marry her, right?
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Love it. Yeah. Okay. And in this turning, he knew she was going to get overweight. He just
that's why he killed her.
That's
awful.
It was premeditated.
Oh my lord!
Did she have any axe marks?
That's between the.
No, maybe she was pregnant, and that's why. No.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, that's what it is. Just pregnant.
Skip all that.
It's awful.
So that's a good start. Where else do we want to go sexistly?
Let's
Probably
go to page 399. 398.
Okay.
I want to talk about land fear, and I literally only have one note. I just didn't realize it. I guess it happens on page 399. It says that she disrupted Luz Theron's wedding. I would watch I would watch a 1-hour episode about that.
That would have been amazing.
Oh my gosh! Yes.
So again, assuming you guys don't watch this, which is the right assumption, like there's some weird stuff in this book that in the companion that doesn't really come up in the series that just makes it always worth it. And the idea that Lanfear wedding crashed Luz Theron and Ileana Sunhair, absolutely. That should be its own movie.
Yeah. Okay, some sort of disruption. Do you think she did the whole like whoever, whatever, now, or do you think she just got really, really drunk at the reception?
Oh, really drunk? That's what I was imagining.
You think she? Wait, you think she was invited to the wedding?
She's drunk before the wedding started.
I think with power.
I bet you Luz was one of those. I could be friends with my exes. I'm just gonna say, as a lesbian, totally friends with my exes. But I bet you he was like, yeah, she's still in love with me, but I'll still be friends with her, and so invited her.
All right. I liked a lot more the idea that she was such a high figure in society that she crashed the wedding and it was too awkward to kick her out. And then at the reception, she got fucking wasted.
Yeah.
Well,
we didn't invite her.
She absolutely tripped and like fell into the gifts table or the pool or something. It's just like, it's fine. It's fine.
She gave a speech. Where she just
Oh my
talked about
God.
how
Do you
much-
think so?
yeah, oh yeah.
What are gifts that are given in the Age of Legends? Like,
Yeah.
what kind of things would be on the gift table? Because I immediately started thinking about like the Red Rod Terangrial. But trying to think, like, would they have like
That's
really...
only from those are gifts from like the groomsmen, or something.
That's the bridal shower. Y'all
That's-
don't
yeah,
know
that's
what
like a
happens at the
bridal
bridal
shower.
shower.
She would definitely get drunk at the bridal shower, give that gift to Ileana, and be like, "You're gonna need it."
Just the wedding gift table is like beer mugs that refill themselves, like in Doctor Strange.
Oh, that was incredible.
Just a Sibian in the corner, though.
Just
Really
ooh, more.
Man.
Yeah,
That's great.
but I wanted to know so much more about that the second
What
I
a-
read it. And I was just like, this is it. And it just moved on
There's
to
so
like
much
facts
there's so much
about
to talk about with
Landfear.
Landfear.
Is there?
Yeah, I guess not.
It's honestly all straight book stuff except for that one line where I was just like, I need to know about this.
Yeah.
They're like, we need to have something extra. I know. Let's have her.
Well, since Layla was in like multiple episodes, maybe we'll get a full flashback episode like you want, Tom, and we'll get to see the
Yeah.
wedding.
I desperately want them to write that into the show.
There is no discussion.
It
of
is
her
canon.
Of what?
What
I haven't seen
Lano?
anything about that.
Yeah, there's nothing in here about her bosom size besides her creamy skin, which I assume is related. Maybe.
Right.
For shame.
Well, that is bizarre. Oh,
There
guys,
should have been a whole
that's
page
something we should
about
probably have talked to you about beforehand. We've noticed that almost every entry for a woman is in some way describes her bosom.
Wait, hold on a second. I don't remember what letter it was. We were on a letter where every single woman in that letter discussed her bosom size. And I was like, this is really weird. And I pointed it out. And I've been on the lookout for it ever since. And it hasn't popped up again. It was just that one letter.
Was it the letter B?
I was gonna say, it's not as weird as you think.
It was the
it
letter
is.
double D, obviously, Lauren.
Obviously.
At a certain point while reading the books, I started noticing, and it's one of those things, it's a tick that once you notice it, you can't unnotice it, is that Robert Jordan, whenever he's in a female perspective, just uses the word breast
Yes.
unnecessarily. Like, there's no reason for her arms to be folded under her breasts. You can literally just say her arms are folded. Because
But
where
where-
else
Well,
are
what
you
about
folding?
I think the only thing that would make that okay, yeah, because you can fold your arms other ways. But
not like a normal human.
but when he's talking about men, he should say they folded their hands in front of their crotch as often.
as often.
That's all I'm
okay,
saying.
but
There's
also
nothing
it's
wrong
like-
with what he said. It's what he left out. That's what I'm trying.
Yeah.
Like Nynaeve's ring is always nestled between her breasts.
Nestled between her bosoms.
Always, every
Yeah.
single time. Matt throws a knife at a woman and it blossoms between her breasts.
Yeah,
What else?
yeah.
I don't see any problem with any of this.
Yeah. Lauren's self-promoting as well, I think.
This is good writing.
Yeah. I was 14. That's one of the reasons I love the books.
Yeah, that's true.
I feel like when he's in a female, like when he writes about women, he wants to make sure you remember that it's a woman. Like,
Yeah.
and that is,
Yeah, maybe.
yeah.
Maybe
To be
that's
fair,
it.
there's multiple scenes where he talks about Ryan talking to like Matt or Perrin and he's cupping his cock and balls. So I don't think it's that out of bounds.
Right. I
Yeah.
somehow just skim over that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
That's
I feel like
unfortunate.
lesbian-
I mean,
lesbian
how
culture.
often in the earlier books is Rand playing the skin flute? A lot.
Yeah.
Always. I mean, you have to
He
read
learns
between
it
the
from
lines,
Tom.
but it's there.
Yeah.
I
He
mean,
played the
let's
skin
move on,
flute for all those people in Barthane's Manor.
I know
Yeah.
he gets on a stage and does it, which is weird.
Oh,
So basically, Kyrian
Not
is
so tight in
Amsterdam, is what we're saying.
yeah. Yeah.
Let's move on to page 393.
Well,
Let's
hold
see.
on. I have a serious question about the Landfear thing, real quick.
Jay should be
Not to
jealous.
get-
She has
not
no
to get
arms
too
or
serious.
breasts.
So lucky.
Sorry, Lauren. Go ahead.
Oh, it's okay. It's okay. I was wondering if this line, if I'm just misinterpreting this line. It says her ultimate goal was to defeat the Dark One, leaving her and Rand immortal and ruling the world. My question is, if you defeat the Dark One, how do you gain immortality? Isn't that a gift that he
I
gives?
think I agree, but I think in her twisted brain, her idea was that they would like somehow replace him.
Yeah, they supplant
Like and be as powerful or like somehow.
So she was
be
like, we're
the
gonna.
next. Yeah.
So essentially, what Rand does in the end, like touch the
Yeah,
pattern,
sort of. Yeah, yeah,
become
kinda, yeah.
deities.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, you re-rate reality.
We're usually way better about saying this, but and by that I mean not really. But spoilers for entire book series. This is the Wheel of Time Companion,
clearly,
and we talk about everything. You know.
Yeah, this isn't your companion when you're first reading; it's afterwards.
Right.
No, so Lauren, that's actually like one of my notes that I didn't read because I'm an idiot. Is how like really bizarrely bad all of her ideas are when you kind of put them together. Like we're going to supplant the Dark One, maybe even the Creator himself, by using the one power. Which, wait a minute, the Creator created himself, and the Dark One has his own answer to it. So like, I do you really think that you as a mortal really have the ability to somehow channel something that would make you stronger than an immortal being? But, fuck it, why not?
But also the irony is you could argue that is what happened to Rand in the end.
There is that. But
though that's how could she have known? I think Robert Jordan clearly gave all of the Forsaken a huge blind spot when it comes to
with
their
like,
motivations.
How much power.
Yeah.
Well, I think they're all like diluted into how much power they would get from him, or when, or how, or
the only one who I think
it's always just this vague, like we'll be all powerful, and you're just like, what does that mean?
Except for Ishii, my headcanon, the only reason I think Ishii was always going to be nameless is he's the only one who agrees with the Dark One. We're just going to end this. We're just going to end it all. And
I'm so tired of his infinite life where I can live completely differently, but I never do. Therefore, I have to kill it all.
Yeah.
But I think it would be a fascinating, really dumb, fanfic to write about, the Forsaken who all of a sudden kind of sobers up and says, "But if the plan is to do that, I'm out of here. This is not good. This doesn't really work, does it?" They just kind of, is out on the Dark One.
I did want to point out real quick, the thing about Lanfear disrupting the wedding was under the Luz Theron entry. I messed up.
I was gonna say I was looking for it this whole time, and I was like, "Where is this line?"
I was just looking, and I was like,
"Of course it was."
I was like, I don't remember. I mean,
I was like, I see this part about being possessive and jealous and madness and hated Ilyena, but then it goes right to Rand. I was like, well, I didn't read it, so I don't know.
The note I made about Lanfear actually just said it's weird that Perrin was the one that eventually killed her.
It's too bad.
Yeah, that came out of nowhere to me.
Yeah. Agreed. Well, let's go to page 3.
What Jack Burnish says, wasn't Lanfear the only one to think that she could supplant the Dark One? And I think that's true. I don't think the rest of them thought that they were.
Yeah, they all want to be nebulous. Yeah.
Yeah, they all thought that they would have power.
Maybe Pat and Fane, but that's a different story, right?
Yeah.
I love that theory. But anyway. And then his. But anyway.
Real sore spot.
3, still sore, still chafed. Page 393. On this topic, Lezine. Yeah.
I don't remember. Is that a person?
Yes.
I do not remember this person at all.
Is that
a sea folk wave mistress who was the one of the first 12? She was so slender that her bosom seemed enormous.
That's it.
At the meeting of the others.
Oh my lord!
But Scene glared at Hareen when her bargain with Rand was mentioned.
She was just a walking Instagram filter.
Yeah, basically,
No. You know when you do a stick figure drawing of a man and then a stick figure drawing of a woman, but for the girl you put just circles for boobs. That's what it was like.
Oh no.
Yeah.
There's this.
Why is that there?
Those. I have to tell this story, although
you would think the hair.
It's a very visual story, but Tom will laugh. Those panoramic camera modes you can do. My brother took one, and Tom was walking through the center of it, and it somehow made my skinny ass brother Tom even thinner and smaller, and it's like the funniest photograph
Tom was like
you've
a
ever
hole in the
seen.
face.
If I can find it before the show ends, I'll definitely put that up. But it's
I'll
very
see.
funny.
Please.
But that's what it's like, but with boobs.
But with boobs, yeah.
Oh, jeez, that's funny.
Why? Like that is it's such irrelevant information.
I don't know why you think that's irrelevant. I think that's wildly
The
relevant.
way that people look matters.
She was so slender that her bosom seemed enormous. I think the seemed is interesting because that just means she had regular sized breasts, but that's how skinny she was.
Or possibly smaller.
Yeah, it could be. Yeah. We should probably think a lot more about that.
How
I
thin
just
was
gonna say,
this
let's
person?
really dive into
That's
these
my
boobs.
question.
Let's dive into these boobs, please.
They had a rib
That's
cage
what I'm
the
saying.
size of my thumb. And breast the size of 2 golf balls, but relatively look pretty big.
Nice dip. Yeah.
Oh Lord.
Let's move to some more face shaming or body shaming. Page 394.
Mm-hmm.
Lorraine, Lairain. This is solely an inside joke for the three of us, and that's why I've got a podcast where other people have to listen to it. Joe, if you want to read the first
An
sentence.
Aes Sedai of the Brown Aja who was toad-like in appearance.
Hmm.
She had warts on her breasts? That's weird. I'm kidding. It doesn't say that.
No,
She
it's-
gave
it's
Egwene
that she
instructions on the ceremony
it's
to
that
be
she has
raised in
breasts
Ireland
like
after the
warts.
tower. Are
Yeah.
you just talking about the toad and the
Yeah,
toad-like
there's
appearance?
so many.
Jono?
There's a lot of characters that are described as frog-like or a. At one
No,
point,
Barthane's manor crouched like a toad.
Yeah, it's just
Why would you describe a house that way? I don't know.
There's just
And then Simeon, the other guy that could talk to wolves, that was
Mm.
kind of crazy already. They
Yeah.
described him as, I mean, I call him the frog-faced boy,
Frog.
but that's not what he called him.
Yeah.
He called him something, something along those lines.
I mean, isn't there always just like a bunch of frogs around Robert Jordan's estate?
yeah.
Yeah.
Isn't it just
yeah.
constantly the sound of frogs everywhere? Maybe that
He
was
does
like
have-
the
And he
only
does have that
animal.
side garden with the
He's got the
pond.
pool and all that. Yeah.
Yeah, he's got that pond, and yeah, I think maybe it's just filled with frogs all the time.
I'm pretty sure Bane and Chiad from Twitter, she went to visit and she walked by. And she
Yeah.
said she could hear
Yeah,
the frogs.
we've been in there. Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't
yeah,
recall.
they've got a lot of frogs.
I
I
don't
was gonna say
I don't
frogs and
recall
hawks,
for-
because that's another animal he always describes. Like
That's
hawk
true, yeah.
nose, hawk nose. So there's hawks flying above and frogs on the ground. And
Really
trying to describe
with
something.
nature.
I
Yeah.
can't lie. We went to that house for lunch and for a tour, and I was so hungover. I don't recall if there were any frogs.
There was
Don't ruin the mystique.
koi.
Yeah, there was a koi pond, and
Mhm.
maybe they had those. Maybe they had those frog statues. You know, like the green ones. That
Yeah, yeah,
you know exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Yes.
right next to the dragon throne.
Maybe a bunch of
A bunch
Yeah,
of
those
gnomes.
background or something.
I have an actual serious entry. Which
I looking like
Wow,
Kermit Price
weird.
does. Good job, over.
All right, let's do a serious entry, Jono. What do you got?
same page, just above it, Lane Mandragoran.
No, this is more important. She crossed her arms under her waist.
Wait a
Can't do
minute.
this having a day.
That
Thank you,
six-figure
J-Man.
woman just had warts.
Yeah.
They weren't even breasts.
Um,
Why did that make me laugh so hard when Lauren explained his own joke? They weren't.
Well, it just
Make sure you get it.
it landed in a rare moment of complete silence. It was perfect.
Yeah.
on the We'll Talk Over You podcast.
They weren't.
Instead
They
of
weren't even
bosoms.
breasts.
Just to be clear, the
Oh
punchline
man,
is
that was good. It's been a great episode.
we should probably just quit now.
Yeah, we should just stop. But on a high note, everybody.
That's
See you
a
later.
peak. That's a peak. Yeah.
We made it to the LAs. Good
Yeah,
enough.
we'll get way higher.
So Lane Mandragoran, I don't know why, but I was sitting here thinking about how it kind of would have been an awesome prequel or an episode or something like that, or if they want to do one of the origins about it, because the entire what happens there with Lane Mandragoran, who is not a dark friend, his wife, who's not a dark friend, but is being counseled some by Cohen Fairheart, who, despite the name, a dark friend, and what that does for repercussions of she's jealous because one toss of the rod, right? would have made her husband king instead, and therefore this is what happens. It's very tough to read things out loud.
Go on, Jono.
I'm sorry. I can't multitask for shit.
I don't know. Jack is on fire tonight.
But what happens there? It kills an entire fucking country. It creates Luke and Isom. It creates, it puts Lan out on the run. It's got huge amounts of thing, probably as well for, I guess, for Tigraine and his brother, or her brother, which eventually kills Janduin, Rand's dad. Like all of it is just so bizarrely connected from what's just he didn't get elected king, which is a very Monty Python thing, I guess.
What was her end game?
What's that?
What was her end game? Did she think he was going to succeed?
I don't know, because the whole point was to send like 1 million or 10,000 lances to Shia Ghul, which, as to your point, Tom, what's your end game besides you kill some Trollocs and they don't come back? It's a very confusing thing. Yes.
I will say I do think I love Lan. Lan is the sexiest character in the books. He is fantastic. Malkir needed to die. Malkir, if you read New Spring,
you don't have Batman with his parents hanging around,
Yeah, but no, I don't even mean like for the story. I mean like if you read New Spring, they had some fucked up traditions. That country needed to go. Like that.
So did Martha and Bruce. And
yeah. Like, sorry, they had like a grown-ass woman pursuing a 15-year-old Lan, and then like tying her hair, like, and then everything about the sexual practices of Malkir is awful. Every single part of it.
Jenny, I think is a little unfair. Because you also forget that afterwards she then wanted the dude, she's the underage boy she's fucking, to marry her underage daughter.
That's all I've been thinking about Ulver's ears.
I know that Ulver's ears. This leapt into my brain the millisecond Jonas had went on the run.
For 5 minutes.
Jailer Man and Sailor Sam.
I've barely been able to pay attention to this entire conversation because I'm just going Lan on the run. Yeah.
It sounds like Jenny might be Lane Mandragoran's wife, and that's I think we determined the end game. She was just like,
he's like, they had to die. Have you seen their culture? Also, check out this amazing picture of Tom.
Oh my gosh, he looks like he's made of paper.
You know what's weird? His breasts seem huge.
I know. His breasts seem enormous.
They
especially compared to his arms, which don't exist.
Anyway, one of my favorite photographs.
It's a delight.
Go on.
Well, anyway, that's it. I just think that, like, honestly, that make a huge, it's a huge turning point. It's a good thing there was randomly a reserved nation that, while not a borderland, acted like one. Right behind it, that had its own cool culture, no rapey, or not as much, presumably, and could fill the gap. Again, not in a rapey way. Malkir's is bad.
Oh, sorry. Jenny is right, though. Malkir has a messed up as Sparta. Yeah. Good job, Jack.
Well, we also have Lan in here on page 396.
Well, John, let's see if one of our guests wants to float an entry.
Yeah, Lauren went out of the way to actually make.
Oh fuck yeah, Lauren had his own mini game.
Lauren did actual work for this.
I can't help it. I have to count things.
Yeah, I know. Also, I will say this to our audience: I was having such a good time talking to our guests backstage, but we barely started the show. We almost just hung out.
Well, I listed every single one, and I want you guys to guess how many entries you think there are.
69.
Under the letter L. 69.
Oh, nope. Just an L. Thank God.
Just in the letter L.
Hold on.
L.
I'm not going to count, but I want to get a rough
I
page.
think 69 is a bad guess, actually.
69 is not a bad guess, but it's a lot more than that.
I was going to say
we
that's way
can't do that. That's not fair.
Way too low.
I'll say.
Wait, are we doing this Price is Right style?
Oh, is every? Oh, yeah. Okay, sorry. Everyone, give your guess. 69 is really close.
Oh, it's really close. Okay.
All right,
I'll say 96, just to be very frustrating.
96. Okay.
All right, Jenny says 96.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I mean. It's frustrating. It doesn't work.
Tom, you want to go, or you want me
You're
to
so close. Yeah.
Like the Aes Sedai symbol all wrong.
Yeah.
248.
Okay.
248. Interesting. I think it's more than that. I think I'm going to say 249. No, I'm kidding.
Oh.
I'll say 301.
You guys, I'm not kidding. There are 249.
Oh my God.
Oh my god!
That was so great.
It was so close.
I was so excited when you said that.
Price is right your way to victory.
249 entries. Okay, now,
Oh my
how
God.
many of those are people? And
Oh,
I'm
jeez.
counting Ogier as people.
All right, so out of 249,
I'll say
Wait, we're
half.
counting the
Half of
we're
them.
counting the C this other person entry as well.
Yes. So any entry that starts with L,
I'm going to say
including last names. As a matter of fact, there's a double. There's a person whose first and last name start with L, and they're in it twice.
I'm going to say 126.
Okay.
I was gonna say that because I was doing half, and I was trying to do the math in my head. So
So you
I'll say
can't guess the same number as
127.
me, Jenny.
127.
127.
Yes, that's what you have to do. You have to be cutthroat.
Yeah.
128.
Oh fuck you.
Yeah, so my actual guess, 169.
169 from Jono. 128 and 69 cents.
Yeah.
Well, I'm just gonna guess 170.
Okay. The final number is 149.
Me and
But
John
there
are-
is-
Price is right
there's
rule.
a
Price is right
duplicate.
rules.
Anyway.
Jenny wins.
Should have
There
got
is a
Tom won the
duplicate.
first round.
So-
Okay. Well, this is like fun rounds of a game.
All right.
Tom
One
and
more.
Jenny have a point.
One
I
more.
almost got that
If I
exactly
counted.
in the first round.
How many of these are Aes Sedai? Or
Oh.
people who were Aes Sedai in the Age of Legends? I'm counting that as Aes Sedai.
Okay.
Okay.
So just one power users or
No, because I
No,
didn't
Aes
count
Sedai.
Windfinders and blah blah blah. Like
oh, okay.
wise
All right,
ones.
So okay.
I'll
I
say.
did, there's that joke that there's so many S Aes Sedai names.
Mhm.
So I was curious how many L Aes Sedai names are.
Oh, so you went out of your way to count. Okay.
Yeah.
So, Eyes Ladai.
Aes Sedai.
Aes Sedai.
Aes Sedai, yeah.
I'm gonna say 78.
Oh really? I was gonna go much lower than that. I was gonna say like 32.
God damn it, that was the exact number I had in my head.
41.
Same. Yeah.
41, John. Well, that
41.
really kind of screws me up for Price is Right rules. I'd have to go in between the two of you.
Let's
Or
see,
one.
come
All
on.
right, I'm gonna say 42.
It's 25.
I was gonna say, Chom, you should go below.
25.
25.
All right.
Okay.
Oh,
said
that was a
21.
fun game.
Jenny
one
just
every
won
other
2
page.
out of 3 rounds.
By
I
Price is Right rules, I lost that one. But yeah, if we go
Oh,
by
that's
your
right.
rules, I won. So I will go by your rules instead.
She got the
Was it
closest.
Bob Barker or the
I did
bullshit?
I did all my math based on the page count because I got home from work so late. I hadn't read anything, and I was like, "How many pages do I have to read in the next hour?" By the way, that was math.
Mm.
That was
A
math.
lot of people were guessing in chat. No one really got close. 14 was the closest from Glenn.
$1.
They weren't guessing fast enough for the other two. Wait, Emma
my
Halley said
God,
180.
How did I forget the
Huh.
$1 guess? That's what I should have done. Every
Oh,
time I
each
went to
said
work.
420.
Yeah.
Not close
Shameful.
enough. 181, the metric conversion of 69.
Oh,
What a holocaust. Eh?
Wow.
what metrics are we conversion? I guess feet, centimeters.
I don't know.
69. Well, I guess what's 181 divided by 69? It's gonna be 2 point something, 2.6. Right? Kilograms?
No, I can't math. No, I don't want to math.
Study your math, Jenny.
Is that kilograms?
Every episode.
Why? So looking through all these, I really respect Michael Kramer and Kate Redding
Yeah.
because
The names
never-
are ridiculously close.
yeah, most of these
Yeah.
are so hard to say out loud too. Like
Yeah.
there was one, I'm trying to remember where it was. There was one where I legit read a normal word as like a really weird word because lake.
Because you're so used to
There
saying
was
things in a different
it was the word lake. I really thought it was a person named Lake.
You don't remember Lake?
Ah, yes, Lake.
Lake
Oh,
Somal.
Lake.
I was like, oh, Lake. Yeah, that's a person. It's a lake.
There are times when I do that too, or when I used to speak Spanish very much more fluently than I do now, where like I'd see a word and I'd be like, "That's English."
Mm.
Fuck.
Yeah.
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 Okay.
I mean,
No, you can talk. It's okay.
Yeah.
oh, okay. I was
We're
gonna say,
just playing a movie over
yeah.
here.
Yeah, that happens to me here sometimes. Like, I'm in South Korea, if you don't know, where somebody will see me and they can tell that I'm a foreigner, so they speak to me in English, but my brain is
Oh.
prepared for Korean, and so I don't understand.
Oh, and you're
them.
like taking it
Yeah.
back. Yeah.
Well, I literally don't understand them. Like it's happened to me. It happened once in class.
God.
Actually, my professor was like giving a class in Korean, so I was concentrating so hard, and then she just turned to me and asked me a question in English, and I like my brain was just I can't. What happened? She just started speaking gibberish to me. Like that's what happened in my brain.
How
So,
dare she?
yeah, it was quite embarrassing when I realized what had happened.
Oh, my native language.
And yes, it was.
Oh, I'm supposed to respond to you. I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
It's interesting. I do because I know Spanish. I do read most Robert Jordan words in a Spanish accent.
Ah,
Yeah.
interesting.
Like I feel like that's how they're meant to be said.
Yeah, some of them
Like
definitely
the old
are.
tongue.
Yeah, like the old tongue.
Yeah.
There's nothing quite like a couple like Spanish-speaking gingers because that's what people would have guessed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We'll do the rest in Spanish, and you guys can fuck right off. Yeah, that means yes, by the way.
I do have a real entry if you want to talk about.
Okay.
I would love
Talk to us about a real entry.
I don't know what page it's on. It's the last days. Let me find what page it's on.
Okay.
The reason why
The last
this
days
stood
is
out-
on 401.
Thank you. Oh.
The end of the cycle of the Wheel of Time when the Dark One came out of captivity and the last battle was fought.
That's what's a little odd to me. The end
Yes.
of the cycle of the wheel. What? Like the wheel
Yeah.
cycle didn't end, nor will it.
Yeah,
So
that does stand
That's
out.
a little odd. That's all. Is that like a Dark Friend term? Like is
I
that
don't
like
know.
a,
That seems
looking
like sort of
forward to the last days?
Like in my mind, that's what was going to happen long, way back when, book 6 came out. Like that's kind of how my brain was thinking. Like the
Yeah,
end
me
of the
too.
story would go, like that there wouldn't be another turning in that.
Have you ever
like,
listened to
this
the
is-
audio? Like the first 5 audiobooks, Robert Jordan
I
did
was,
an interview.
I guess, yeah, yes.
At the
yeah.
end of that, he does this interview and he talks about how linear time is a gift or something like that, given to us by the Greeks or something. And I always assumed because of that interview that he was going to end the series,
Same.
like you said, with
Yeah.
time becoming linear.
I always thought the wheel would break somehow and that time would become linear and that the end of these books would be like the end of the Wheel of Time. Like literally the wheel, kind of thing. So like I actually that doesn't shock me so much as it's interesting that that's not what happened. Technically,
Right.
I guess.
So,
Yeah,
like,
I
the
guess
last-
that's a follow-up.
so, like, the last line would be like said at like there was an ending to the Wheel of Time.
Yeah.
Something,
Well,
But this was
it
a
does say
beginning.
the end of a cycle.
and this is a beginning.
That's
That would
true.
be it.
Yeah.
So-
That's what I
Yeah.
that's how I would have read it. The end of a cycle. Like it's the end of 7, we begin 1 again. Like
Mhm.
Yes.
Like, wouldn't it be because you could say like the end of an age you could call the last days, right?
Right.
But the end of a cycle, we don't know what the fuck happens at the end of the 7th age into the first, and yet we clearly never do.
mhm.
So I guess kind of almost like, well, tell me what the hell that looked like because I don't.
Right.
There's no clue here.
Yeah, I've
Right.
always this is unrelated to the letter L, but I've always wondered about the moment of creation. Like,
Yeah,
is there like a new Big Bang every time the cycle ends and we start again?
very confusing. Keeps coming back to that same soundtrack too.
Yeah.
Or virtual.
Well,
would
I
have
mean
to be a
that's my head
virtual-
canon actually, yes. Is that like my head canon is Ishii is right that eventually the Dark One wins and things end, but that the Dark One doesn't understand that the cycle repeats because
Mhm.
things end and then the creator does it again. We start again.
So in your mind,
That's
like
my
the Dark One
headcanon.
is like less than the creator
No.
in
it's
the
just
sense
like-
that like he actually doesn't comprehend as much as like the creator does.
I don't know that I would say comprehend. It's just
Okay.
that they are like in my mind, we have the creator, and then the opposite force of the creator is destruction. And
Yeah.
so, like, if you take that to its logical end, the Dark One wins.
Yeah,
but-
eventually,
but-
chaos. Yeah.
Yeah, but then the creator also wins because the creator also
Because it starts
creates.
again.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so like it's equal. It's not a matter of
Okay.
one knowing
Yeah.
more than the other.
So
It's just,
the creator has no say in whether it begins again.
well, yeah,
as
because
much as- okay.
that's what the creator does. The creator
Yeah, yeah.
creates.
Well,
and the dark one destroys.
as a physicist, I'm sure Robert Jordan believed that matter could neither be destroyed nor created, right? That it's just reorganized.
Conservation of energy here. Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I will say that is just my headcanon, by the way. I have no idea.
And
if
by
that-
the way, you are just a floating head, so you're
That's
halfway there.
You're
I
allowed.
mean, yeah, that's true.
Yes, I am indeed living on a prayer. So,
Oh no!
Ron Lovey. All right.
No, you actually missed that. That was under Jovi Bond.
right. Wrong.
We covered that. We covered that a few episodes ago.
Jovi Bond.
Jovi, comma Bon.
Well, it wouldn't be under Bon Jovi. That would be insane. Actually, Bon Jovi just said "See Jovi Bone." Bon Jovi says you're halfway there, but not quite. You have to get to the J's.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what?
You're 20% there. That doesn't make sense.
Yeah, it didn't work. The joke didn't work, but I still enjoyed it.
Yeah, that's all right. Lan.
It's good canon from ahead. See,
Mhm.
he's thinking the same way we are.
Yeah.
Oh, you want to
Yeah,
talk about the
wait,
elephant in the room?
Wait,
John?
hold on. Is Jenny's headcanon more important than all of ours because she's only a head?
I mean, I do like this logic. I
mean, it makes
like-
a lot of sense.
yeah.
It does.
You should make an avatar with a body that's just a cannon.
There you go. Now.
I love that.
She laughed so hard that her head just froze in like a weird down position. The camera was like, "What am I supposed to do with this?"
I mean, at the very least, a graphic where you just pop it up every time. Like, that's my headcanon.
That's my. I am going to now. Like that's genius.
Lauren, you should quickly patent that and just say that was my idea.
Yeah.
I don't know, that's
Oh no, you can have it. You can have it.
Thank you. Thank
No,
you.
Lauren, just say TM copyright real fast.
Tim Copper.
He did it. He did
Patent
it.
pending.
That's how the law works.
Yeah. I mean,
That works.
technically, Unraveling the Pattern owns it, but you know,
Yeah.
And who that is, well, that's up for debate. We're actually very well versed in YouTube law, so
does Jono have head cannon or dick cannon?
Dick Cannon.
It's an interesting question.
Mhm.
I was circumcised pretty badly, so it's just Dick Cannon. No dickhead cannon. It's just Dick.
Noman Garden said new series Jenny's head cannon. I agree. Tell us more about it in amazing videos on your channel because I feel like that's something I'd want to watch. You've clearly thought about this quite a bit.
I actually do
have
love that as
I
a
have-
series.
I
Yes,
have a
I'm
video
into
about
this.
that. Actually, I do have a video about the dark. What my theory about the dark one. But
I
Well, just in
hope you're-
I don't
general,
remember.
Jenny's headcanon. That should be just
Yeah.
like a series.
Yeah.
I hope
Just-
you're furiously scribbling notes right now with the hands we can't.
You're just like
You're welcome.
no one can see it because it's just her head.
I'll make
Yeah,
a copyright claim once you post it.
oh no!
Looking forward to that law.
Called it.
Yeah,
And then
yeah.
the two of you will come back and we'll do a people's court. We'll call it people's
Yeah.
twat.
And
We'll-
then
The people's twat. Oh my god!
Wait, why isn't that funny? It's called the People's Wheel of Time. Gosh, what do you guys think twat means?
It would be
We'll
the
adjudic-
people's the wheel of time. Otherwise,
Yeah.
it's just the people's what.
That's
yeah,
true.
we'll adjudicate
That's-
the
that's
whole
true.
thing. It's going to be great.
Mm.
we should probably
All
talk
right.
about some of Linny's sayings, don't you think?
Do you want to
Fuck
go through
no.
some
Oh
of those?
yeah, sure. I mean,
I'm trying to
100%.
guide the conversation back. No.
I mean, we know, like Linny is a beloved character by all. So I mean,
Oh,
I think
Lord.
it's a
Yeah,
great
Linny
idea.
is a very-
Agents of the patriarchy.
Yes,
All right.
that's what I wanted to know is just how terrible a lot of her comments are. Like, I was surprised by how bad it was. I had forgotten.
Have you thought about how weird it is that like she's supposed to be like the most straight-headed character, and yet as soon as she hears a rumor that Perrin's fucking barreling, she like absolutely
Mhm.
believes all of it, and just kind of like almost is a complete bitch to him. Just
Yeah.
seems like someone who maybe should look at the quality of the character here.
She has some issues.
Yeah.
like she. Okay.
Jono, only
Really?
fools kiss hornets or bite fire. You know what I mean?
Well, and it's always the man is always the problem in every single one of her quotes, practically.
She has issues that are like her thing. Morghese has been through some serious fucking trauma. She's got this creepy ass stalker, and Linny's like, no, marry him. I know
Yeah.
he's just been through a shit ton of trauma, but he's really nice and he likes you.
Yeah.
So
This is
you
a
should like him.
bizarrely apt for our times where we continue to give old people a pass for being racist or sexist. Or weird.
Yes.
Like,
Yeah.
Well, and I had forgotten that Linny didn't just take care of Morghese and Elaine. She also took care of
mom.
Morghese's mom. So she's like
Yeah.
80. She's
Yeah,
like really
Yeah,
old.
probably.
Yeah.
Real old. Yeah. Yeah.
Wait,
She
did
is
you just blame
problematic.
Elaine on Lenny? Jack, was that something you said, Lano?
I blame Elaine on Elaine.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
Elaine-
blame Elaine on Elaine too.
I feel like we can blame a lot of people because Elaine's
Because I
very
hate
bad.
Elaine.
Yeah.
I find it so weird. I did a video about Elaine because somebody asked me to. They said like there's been a lot of Elaine hate online, and my literal thought when I read that was, people have passionate feelings about Elaine. Like
That's a good
either
point.
good
my
or bad.
God.
I don't. Elaine, I like her. She's fine.
Medium.
What?
But that's literally that's the level of my thoughts about her. Is she's fine.
Yeah.
I
I
don't-
was early ambivalent, late hatred.
I liked
Yeah.
her, and then it took an interesting spiral a few books later. And like, she's not my least favorite character. I don't know who is really now I think about it, but Lenny might be up there.
I think I dislike her almost as strongly as a lot of people dislike Gawain.
It
I
was
think
the
her
journey.
and Gowan. I think her and Gowan
Yeah.
have a lot of similarities. Actually, that
Yeah,
people
they
don't
do.
But
And
she,
no one seems
but
to
she-
see it in her.
well,
I
she
don't
gets a
understand
pass
why.
for whatever reason. Yeah.
Well, the reason she gets a pass is because her stupid decisions work out well, and his
Yeah,
stupid
true.
decisions don't.
Do they? I feel like they work out very poorly.
Well,
Yeah,
I mean,
there's a few times where
Yeah,
it
yeah.
doesn't work out all that well, and no one
They get
seems
a
to care.
lot of people killed. Like
There is nothing dumber though than her like, well, men saw me deliver my kids, so therefore I can't get killed. I'm gonna rush off in the middle of a thing. Like, you know, you can get like, you know, just your legs cut off and deliver a baby without one. Like, he's stupid, fucking bent.
Right. You could
there's
get,
a
you
lot
could
of
get
things
stilled.
that happen here.
I love Elaine, Team Elaine, better than Gawain.
I
Well,
mean,
that's not fair.
There's a lot.
better than
There's
Gawain.
a
Like
lot.
that's the
Elaine
bar is
pisses
on the
me off more than
floor.
any others.
I
There's
just,
a lot going on here.
I was very grateful for that person asking me that question because when I did the video, I was like, oh, this okay. Now that I've thought about her, I really like her friendship with Nynaeve. I really like it, but I also just I have no strong feelings about her. Like
the
she
bad
is-
in her.
she is milk.
For me, one of the turning points was when she had like men hoist her up in a bed onto the side of a wall so she could watch like a cannon go off, and I was just like, wow, you're a piece of shit.
My turning
Yeah,
point was
yeah,
the
that was
journey
tough.
from Saladar to no.
Oh, to Abu Dar?
I mean, there's many other
Yeah, to
instances.
Abu Dar.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
that's
yeah.
when I started to turn against her, and it only got
Yeah,
worse. from
because
there.
she's the voice of reason early on. Like, and it's weird how
Well, between Egwene and Nynaeve, who are reacting like
yeah, but between
children.
those three, like who, like the weaver in and out of who is the
Mhm.
reasonable one, is that actually a very interesting dynamic or trinamic since there's three. I know that's not the term, but I kind of
No, that's
enjoy that. But the thing is, like once like she turns the point where she's no longer the rational ones, she becomes very, very much the irrational one, and very difficult to kind of enjoy.
Yeah.
And her love for Rand, not that that needs to be a centerpiece of it, seems the most or the least understandable, really. Besides, like, hey, we stuck some kisses in a couple books ago.
Really?
Yeah,
Okay, I see what you're saying. Because their relationship to me feels the most real. Not in that I feel like it's not. Yeah, not that I think it's a serious relationship. They kiss for 3 days, but it's
Yeah.
the one that makes the most sense to me because
Cast it there. Huh.
it's high school. It's a high school romance. She's a sheltered princess. He's
And
the
she's
first boy
16
that she. Yeah, like it makes sense to me that she's obsessed with him. Whereas,
Yeah.
like,
Oh well, that I
but-
understand.
but that's. It's not that I think they have. I don't think they have a serious relationship. They literally kissed for 3 days and fucked
Yeah.
once.
I hope she
Well,
does more.
Avienda and Min have actually met him and spent time with him.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
they make the
Yeah.
most sense to me.
But
Like,
them,
Yeah.
but their feelings for him bother me because they like the thing about Egwene and Rand to me is that or not Egwene, sorry, Elaine is that she fell for him without any, like, she wasn't pushed into it. She wasn't like, there was no, oh, you have to because the pattern says. She was just like, cute boy fell in my garden. I like
if
it.
you know what I mean.
Yeah, but that.
Well,
guess
I mean, in that sense, she was pushed into it just as much as anybody. She just didn't
but
know
not,
it, I guess.
but not, yeah, like that's what I mean. Like,
this
Min
is
and
a
Abby
literal.
fought it. Like, yeah, they were.
Well,
like,
you can't know another woman's reasons until you've worn her dress for a year, you know?
God. Back to Linny. Linny needs to be put in a home.
That was,
I mean,
Joe, that was a good.
when a woman
end
plays the
to
fool,
our
look for the man, you
Elaine
know?
talk, which has nothing to do with it.
Hey, listen, what can't be changed must be endured. So,
Yeah.
That was
Oh,
all right.
she was right there for that. That
I mean, you can't hold the sun down at dawn. You know, it's going to happen.
What was the one that was
All
on my? There was one that was on my WatCon thing. It was like a woman is a weeping woman is a bucket with no bottom or something.
Yeah.
Like,
A weeping
yeah,
woman is a
exactly.
bucket with no bottom. That's actually
What is that?
exactly it.
wow.
You nailed that one.
That's such a fucked up, like, oh, okay, congratulations. You've really just.
I love this one, actually. A slow horse does not always reach the end of the journey. It's like the opposite of the tortoise and the hare.
Yeah.
We had to put it down.
The
halfway
exact
across.
opposite lesson.
Yeah.
Hey, if you go too slow, you're not even going to get there. You know?
Just run
not
as
a bad
fast as you can until you die.
Oh,
Maybe
man.
Lindy's a better character than we thought, other than being kind of a little bit of a sex.
Oh my
assault.
god, she's not. She's exhausting. Every
I mean, no
morning
knife is
Lenny
sharper than a
checking, I'm
sister's hate.
Yeah.
I hate it so much.
Page 398. Land of the Madmen.
Okay.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I like
have
that. I like that one a lot.
Yeah. All right. Well, Lauren, you do it.
It's just interesting.
Well, I mean, go ahead. You picked it.
The only like what stood out to me is shit that, if for those who read the Big White Book, you kind of know what the fuck it looks like. Australia, oddly enough, and that's an interesting thought anyway. But it's kind of, it's there. It's got a bigger presence in the Big White Book than anywhere else in the.
Yeah.
Let's hope so. Than anywhere else in the series. But there's an interesting little tidbit here that many of the men kind of made blocks to prevent themselves from channeling. Which is a really interesting kind of like, and that's how they didn't all kill themselves from just a giant explosion instantly. So I liked it, and also
Is it
weird.
Is it just Thunderdome down there, like at all
I
times?
think so, yeah.
It's described as primitive. Like,
Yeah. Speaking of my
find-
headcanon, but one of my headcanons is that Nynaeve's going to go there after the books. She'll
Oh,
hear
yeah.
about
Oh,
it
and what?
and start
Become
healing
Mad Max?
madness. No, she's going to start healing
Oh!
madness. That's what she does.
One
Like
at a time?
Nynaeve, yeah.
Yeah.
That's what like Moraine, not that Moraine could do this, but Moraine would be like, okay, let's sit down and think of a plan to do this really, really efficiently. Nynaeve's is like, there's a problem. And she's just going to like run towards it and fix it one at a time because that's
if there's a
Nynaeve
problem,
doesn't
you all
think so.
solve it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, I would read that book too.
I mean, I think it would get pretty monotonous after a while of just like
Not
land
really,
fighting.
people are insane. Weird shit's gonna happen.
Maybe.
Look, trademark, copyright, all these book ideas we're having.
Yeah, it's book 15.
That's
That's book
a pretty
15.
fucking cool set of like stories here.
You know, once upon a
look,
time, Tom had a really good idea to like write an outline for a book 15.
Oh, Jenny was there.
And
Yeah,
I
was
know
there,
Jenny was
yeah.
there.
Yeah.
And he never did it to Jenny, you know.
Oh, I did. I did.
Oh, did
Well,
you?
I was gonna let people do it, but like, oh, I have it all in my head. I have headcanon. Wait, do I need to hide my body to say that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, just go, just
I can
shrug down.
almost blend into the.
Yeah.
Hold on.
Yeah.
Black shirt
There
on.
we
a
go. There we
black
go.
vest.
There we go.
Just put up that picture.
That's my headcanon.
That's awesome.
All right, now I'm back.
Oh, hey, Tom, your body right there.
What happened?
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
interesting. I mean,
That-
develop blocks which limited or prevented them
Right.
from using the one power is interesting to me because I'm like,
Hmm.
they're just all purposefully not like Nynaeve where she's angry on purpose. They're very calm. I know there's other blocks.
Yeah,
I'm
I was
just
gonna
saying
say
it'd
there's
be,
other
it'd be
blocks, but
funny
yeah.
if there was
Yeah.
like just a
Where do
bunch
they-
of like guys trying not to turn into the Hulk, just very
Hmm.
calm.
I mean,
doing some breathing exercises. You know.
I have a possibly inappropriate question.
Yes.
Sure.
How long has it been since the breaking?
About 3,000 years.
3,000
That's
Yeah.
inappropriate.
So these lunatics that are killing each other with the power, and then the regular people that form squads of death squads to kill anyone that comes near them, right? They're still fucking and having babies.
You goddamn right.
Yeah.
What does
Human
that look
nature.
like?
Human. What does it look like?
It looks like fucking.
I mean,
Oh,
So,
well,
you're a man.
when two people love each other very, very much.
I mean, like, you have insane male channelers, insane.
Maybe they're
female
aesthetic
channelers,
everywhere.
running around smashing everything, and the regular people are like,
Not every man is a channeler.
Don't
Yeah.
you think
Well-
those guys would die pretty fast, though?
"Do you guys not understand the question?
Yeah. So
It's-
again, why are they desperate?
How,
Maybe
how
this
they
is
not
fitting.
killed? How have they not killed themselves out of this one?
Well, I think the
Yeah.
blocks are the key. They
Yeah, I think so,
they
yeah.
figured out ways to not channel.
Yeah,
to
way more
survive.
of them must have blocks then.
So
Yeah.
They must practice to give each other blocks rather than learn.
well,
to
I was
channel.
thinking
Like-
about when the male channelers, right when
No,
the breaking
seriously, it must
started.
be like passed down. Go ahead, Lauren. Sorry.
Remember when the male channelers went into the steading to
Yeah.
Yeah.
to prevent themselves from going mad? It's
Yeah.
almost like they succeeded somehow.
Somehow.
Yeah.
Also, if they're like powerful
Hmm.
male channelers, they would live for a very long time. Every single one of
Ah.
those dudes would be having
Yeah,
Lots
block or
and
not, they
lots of
should
kids.
they should
And
live
the-
for a while.
yeah, and the female channelers there would live for a very, very long
Oh
time.
yeah,
so
because they're not
they're not
bounds.
yeah.
So the people who live there, are they completely isolated? I
Yeah.
guess I thought that the sea folk took their insane male channelers and put them there. That's not true.
That's what I thought.
No, I think
Interesting. I
they.
never
I
thought
think
about
they. I think they. Captain Jack Sparrow, their male channelers, put them on an island.
Yeah, but I thought that
but
was
not
the,
the
island.
land of the mad. Yeah, that's what I thought.
No, just random islands, I believe.
Oh,
Oh,
Hmm.
Captain
It's a
Jack
long
Sparrow.
fucking journey.
Just a bunch of
Except with no
bunch
rum.
of male channelers going like, "Why is all the rum gone?"
Why the rum? It's a good thing you can't fucking travel, apparently, because otherwise you'd find the rum.
Yeah,
Mm.
interesting.
wanna
Do
go
we
to-
want? Oh, Tom.
Now, yeah, go to page 418.
This is
Go
a
to-
long section.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot going on. With this.
Go to Lydia.
Yeah.
I just thought it was interesting that she told Two on a Fortune about how she would marry Matt, and it was like wildly accurate. She had her
Yeah.
beaten, and then she later met Nen and was like, "Well, you're the new second princess of this entire kingdom."
Oh yeah, she's like, I believe in soothsaying, and
Yeah.
maybe she didn't believe in channelers, or I mean, you know how their viewing is of people that can channel, like, and women that can channel. So maybe
Maybe.
she just was like, "You're a dog, get out of here." Oh, you don't channel and you can tell the future? You know, like
Not a
maybe
dog,
it's just
you're
as
a
simple as that.
Well,
I still love.
she
Sorry.
believed her. She believed
Yeah.
that. Yeah, like it's not that she didn't trust her, it's just that she was her dog and she made her upset. So
Yeah,
she
yeah.
ate her.
oh, don't worry.
So she
she gave
smacked
her
her on the nose
sweet
with a
custard.
newspaper and told her to get in the corner.
It's
She
okay.
makes it
though.
up.
Sweet
No.
custard.
It says she gave her sweet custard as a treat the next day, so it's fine.
Oh, that's
So-
fine.
felt
Yeah,
bad for beating her.
yeah.
And I just
Sweet
want
custard.
to, and I want to make sure before we get out of here on page 428, we have yet another of a Gween sister.
Gilligan's Island. From Wolfenstein.
Yeah.
I mean, he's talking about the land of Mad Men.
Yeah.
I just like the idea of them being like, we're just going to go on a 3-hour tour, and then they just drop somebody off.
Yeah. We'll be back. We'll be back.
I'd
Can you
go to
imagine
the Isle of
that?
Mad Men if Marianne and Ginger were there.
Yeah.
What's the professor doing? Well, he's a channeler and he's gone insane, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
So basically on 428, Louise Alver, nothing really interesting, but just the
No.
one thing I've learned by only getting through the L so far in this book is the Alvers fucked a lot.
Yeah.
A lot of girls.
Oh, man. Yeah.
Do you think they killed the men? Do you think, maybe that's what it is. It's almost like a weird Game of Thrones thing. They knew
No,
that
I
the
think
men
we
could
talked
stand
about
up.
Lenny not enough, so let's circle back. to
Let's
that.
go back to that.
Fuck off, Joe.
Don't circle back. Just give us a saying once in a while. That's apropos
Yeah,
to the
okay,
moment.
that's fine.
I'm sure she has one for every moment.
Yeah, when I die, I want to die like my grandfather, peacefully in his sleep, not screaming
alone.
like all those other bitches in his car.
Joe, what would Lenny have said to Jono
She
at the
did
start
say
of the show when he said, "I self-promoted 2 times before we even started"?
Oh, no.
What would Lenny say?
I don't
Something
want
about
to
a
know.
woman in the blood.
Oh, I think she would say there's no point in letting honey age too long before you eat it.
Yeah.
No, do
I was-
not connect these things.
Oh no.
Unrelated, I jerk off upside down.
To pictures of Winnie the Pooh.
Self-promote, Jono.
Yeah.
A man is a man on a throne or in a pigsty. Imagine
Yeah.
you doing it in a
That,
pigsty.
yeah.
All right, on the same page, we're on 428. The Lopar.
Mm.
Oh
The
yeah.
very first sentence. Joe, do you want to read that?
Yeah, a hulking exotic fighting animal of the Shanshan that was brought from a parallel world.
And then that's not referenced again.
Yeah.
Did they
I
do
mean-
that?
Yeah.
Do
Yeah.
they continue to do that?
It's in the big white book. That's
I think
like
they
what
breed
happened.
them.
That's where all the exotics are from. Is a parallel world that like they randomly could tap into, like during the crazy time, because like whatever Shanshan was doing before Archer Hawkwing's son, so Luther got there.
Yeah, I think
They
they
were
could.
experimenting with breaching parallel worlds.
Well, it was the
Maybe like there's
portal
portal
stones.
stones maybe there.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
think they
portal
could
stones.
travel the portal stone worlds,
Well,
and they were bringing
that's
those
correct.
creatures
Yeah.
up.
Yeah, in the
hate
Great
it so
Hunt,
much.
when Rand and Loyal are in that parallel world, and there are
Mhm.
Grom there, I just assumed that Lanfear brought those from Shanshan
Yeah, that was always my assumption too.
as
because
like a
it's-
part of a trap.
Yeah, because
Ah.
that was like, it'd be really weird if those things were still around in that world. I feel.
In that world,
Agreed.
that's
I don't
true.
think-
Yeah, yeah.
It's
Nor I don't
very
think
empty. It
it's
was like
there
completely
naturally.
scarred and empty, and then suddenly there's something hunting them.
I
Yeah,
never
yeah.
thought about that. That's really, yeah, that's.
I always
like that.
assumed it was
Nor I've
Lanfear
always
just being like,
described the
"Oh,
same
convenient portal stone. I'll just set a trap,"
Mhm.
or you know,
No,
It's
the
just
Shanshan-
a monster from another world.
Yeah.
So the Shanshan-
another world.
Bizarre parallel universe animal husbandry, like all this time. Like,
Is that not what,
what
you had
what
on your phone?
Shanshan channeler scientist was doing this? Like, they're
Who was the
better
ad-
than any of the Forsaken at this shit, right?
His
Mhm.
name
What?
was Dr. Mindmender.
That's a terrible G.I. Joe villain.
No.
They could have been searching portal worlds to try fleeing the breaking Nomen Garden.
Oh, I like that.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
Because I mean, technically, the Ogier,
And
right?
every single one is just horrible,
Oh.
and they're like, "Fuck! I guess let's just bring
Yeah.
some animals back." You know?
Although apparently, okay, because I've wondered this before. Apparently, the breaking was not as bad in Shanshan.
Shanshan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, that's actually referenced in an entry in this. The
Yeah,
Longing.
Luther.
yeah,
Yeah.
the longing and the long whatever the fuck.
Yeah.
that's why the Ogier didn't like. Yeah, that's why
Yes.
they have Ogier working for the Empress and stuff.
Yeah.
'cause they
Does
just
that
left
make
Iceland.
sense?
Shanshan Ogier have no problem with the Longing because the steading were steady and they really didn't have the breaking over there.
Mhm.
I've never made that's never made sense to me though. Like right, like because like there are still steading here in the world of Rand. Because I hate Randland as a term, but so like what happens if like some of them probably made it like instantly? Like, oh look, lucky us, it's a steading. Some of them didn't. I get that, and you had to just keep walking back and forth. So like, couldn't some of them have the longing, some not, and therefore we have this weird interbreeding of those who like can stay out
Yeah.
for 6 weeks versus 16 years? Or
Yeah, it does seem strange that and if you look at the map, there are so many steading around the
Mhm.
main,
yeah,
the main
yes,
Randland map.
Yeah.
How did they not find any of those?
Well, my theory about that question, Lauren, is that they were just moving constantly. So during the breaking, it was during the breaking they couldn't find them because the steading kept moving.
Yeah, that's what I always assumed.
Oh,
They were
okay.
lost during that upheaval of like physical change.
So maybe they
and then
found
couldn't
one and
find
then
them.
earthquake and then they
moved.
lost it again.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Because
Well,
As far as
the breaking wasn't like, I don't know, 5 days long. You know, like it was
It was
No,
a
it was
$300
really long period of time.
It was being
Yeah.
100 to 300 years. It was between.
yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
when Joe said it wasn't 5, I thought at least 6 to 7 days.
Yeah, 7 to
Oh.
6 days. Yeah.
Oh, good idea, good bid though.
Yeah.
You know, if
Maybe
we're doing
8.
more games, 6 would be good.
I mean, Lenny might say you can't count your blumps in the basket, not on the tree. But you know,
You say lump?
This is kind
you know,
of
if you poke the Mika's dog too often, and he'll bite. You know.
this is kind of related to what we were talking about, but under the Luther Pendrag
Yeah,
entry on page 434, I just assumed that there were no people on the Shanshan continent until Arthur Hawkwing's people went over there.
populated it.
Yes, it was
Yeah.
quite
But-
interesting.
But it says he found a
it's sort of-
shifting quilt of nations of various sizes. So then Arthur
Most ruled by Aes
Hawkwing's-
Sedai.
right? And most of them were ruled by Aes Sedai, which is strange. And then he kind of did what his dad did.
I mean, not
on the
literally
main
Aes Sedai,
continent.
Does he mean that?
No,
No,
I would
that's what it
imagine
says.
female
That's
channelers.
what. Yeah, that's what it says.
Who call themselves
But it
Aes Sedai.
says Aes Sedai. That's weird.
Well, I think because they wouldn't have been Aes Sedai from the White Tower. They would have been leftover Aes Sedai from the Age of Legends.
From the.
Well, there
yeah,
was
Age
no
of
White
Legends.
Tower.
But
That's what I mean. Yeah.
yeah.
Fuck you, Tom.
Fuck you.
Yeah.
Fuck you.
Go on, Laura.
Oh, no, I was just gonna say. I just thought that was interesting that
That's very
he
interesting.
basically did what his father did, and he united
But
he
better.
conquered. He
I was
conquered.
gonna say
and then-
conquered. Yeah.
yeah, he didn't unite, but he,
Yeah. Because we don't talk about that enough. Arthur Hawkwing was a fucking dictator. Like, man, like he was a dictator.
Yeah, he was a
He's
Well,
well,
and
as a
People
hero.
love him.
But
and
he-
you can argue that his son was worse because of the
Yeah.
discovery of the
Idam.
Idam, or however you said
Yeah.
the
I would
Idam.
say-
Says there
I would-
was a White Tower in Arthur Hawkwing's time.
that is true.
Yes,
Right.
but it was East, but
Oh,
it
yeah.
wasn't in the
That's true.
Shantan continent, I think was the point. But
Well,
still,
they might have been Aes Sedai before the White Tower, maybe. I would
No,
say they,
Yeah, I would assume so.
I
would say
do think they were
Um,
left over from the Age of Legends.
It also makes
I
sense.
agree.
It also makes sense why the Shan-Chen hate Aes Sedai because they
Spent hundreds of years fighting.
Mhm.
And in the most recent, I
Yeah,
think
but
what's
what they know as
fascinating
Aes Sedai isn't like
What?
necessarily the
That's
White
true because
Tower.
that's what Arthur Hawkwing he hated him in the end. too.
Yeah.
and Luther is obviously much worse than Arthur Hawkwing because Arthur Hawkwing fell under the influence of the most powerful Forsaken
Right.
Yeah.
that there is. Like, I don't even know how much we can blame on him.
Well, no, he conquered the continent, I think, before Ishii got to him. Or
It was
no,
when
did
he
Ishii-
attacked.
correct, yeah.
It was when he
Yeah, yeah.
attacked the Shining Walls and attempted
Yeah.
It went crazy.
and just absolutely hated Aes Sedai in the
Yeah.
end.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I think that it's 20 or 40 years that Ishamael was out for, like every 1,000 years or so.
Right.
We probably should remember this because it was just a few episodes ago. But we get drunk.
Nah.
But there is an interesting. Yeah, he laid siege because of his hatred that Ishamael was whispering into his ear.
Yeah.
But one of the things that's interesting is, if you think about it, technically, Luther did a better job than his father. He came over with no territory,
Mm.
and either
The
he
entire
or not just
continent.
him, but his descendants conquered an entire continent that, again, according to the Big White Book, which we should probably just fucking do next, apparently, is like
Like, none of this is accurate.
bigger.
Moving
than-
on.
bigger than the world that we see in the Western continents of Iran and our
Mhm.
Western countries. Like, it's fucking huge what Shan-Chen is. And yet his people eventually pacify the entire goddamn thing. Whereas Arthur Hawkwing, dead, whole thing breaks up instantly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
I
that's
mean,
because they have like they say that the Idam is the source of
Yeah.
their power.
Right. If
That's
you
why
leash
they- yeah.
Aes Sedai, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that helps, I guess.
Having
guess
weapons
Every
of mass
single-
destruction.
Yeah.
What turned Archer from the White Tower?
Ishii.
Ishmael?
I want to go to page 428.
Okay.
So
Long Man.
Who?
The Long Man.
Mm.
The long man.
Long man, comma the.
We saw a picture of that earlier.
The well kept.
I gotcha.
Not your penis.
Yeah. It's a well kept inn in Carrion where Egwene and Gawain met in a private dining room. Its innkeeper was a round woman, the opposite of Tom.
It's just my
It was,
favorite. That's where they used to fuck. That's
it was-
where they used to fuck at.
Was it
That's
Hessalon?
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was Haslam. It's another image.
But that
It's
was
another
where
image
they-
I have at the
Is
ready.
round.
Oh, no.
Oh man.
Tom drew this drawing of approximately 11 years ago,
Oh.
Yeah.
and we found it somehow. I don't know.
It's still accurate to
Thanks,
this day.
Taffy Bennington, for that one.
Do you guys have anything?
I have a quick note that I wrote down under the Luke Montier page, which is it's actually page 432.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's a funny quote to me. Perrin put an arrow in Slayer's chest. Shortly after, in the waking world, Luke rode away, hunched over and clutching his chest. After that, Luke really hated Perrin. It's just that line got me for some reason. It's like, oh yeah, okay. Mhm.
Shot him in the
Yeah,
chest.
that point right there.
Yeah.
Luke
He
didn't
held a
like Perrin
grudge.
very much anymore.
It feels like an Alan Ramonchek line of just like throw away, just like understanding. Really hate
Coincidentally.
Yeah. in a possibly related thing. There's a little bit of mild disdain. Really hated him.
That was my last note, I think. We pretty much talked about everything else I marked.
I think we're.
I've got 30 more.
I think we're pretty good. Oh, you got so many more, Jono?
Yeah, but we don't have to do them all. They're not always that fun. One quick note: the loyal thing. We don't have as much time because I know Ginny's got to go at some point.
Jenny has to go very, very soon.
Yeah. Do we want to talk about ogier ears and their sexuality?
I was wondering about that. What was that about?
Well, we all know that they are. It's like it's a weird thing where, like, at first it's like it's an attractive feature, like it's a secondary sexual. I think is what
They're basically walking around topless at all times.
Well, that's what it made it sound like they get erect.
Yeah,
that's what it made it sound like to me.
Yeah,
I was like, oh,
they jerk
thanks
erect.
for that detail.
Yeah, ears are mobile, very mobile and expressive of his emotional state. Besides being an ogier secondary sexual characteristic, like. I'm not sure what my primary and sexual characteristics are, and maybe I forgot a day in health class.
I was wondering the same thing. What is a secondary sexual
Secondary sexual characteristic are things like, okay, you guys have men have beards, women have breasts and hips. Like it's not your genitals.
So it defines sexuality differently from genitals.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's things specific to
well, that's not as cool.
That's not as much fun.
No.
Yeah.
All right. Let's get Logan again.
It's not like
I really like the idea that in more civilized times they would have some sort of ear coverings, though.
Yeah.
More civilized.
I gotta go shave my ears before she finds out.
Savages used to walk around with their ears just jerking erect anytime they saw someone.
Oh my god! And we all know what that means.
Oh no.
And again, at any point, feel free to cut me off. Logan's strength, by the way, is just one step below. I would watch that. That's some good old ear pulling porn.
Oh my god.
Logan's strength is just like we know we see it briefly, but it doesn't seem like that anywhere until the end of the books that Logan is that strong.
Yeah.
Like that he's one level below Rand, more than most Forsaken, male or female. That just seems like a weird thing for the pattern to have coughed out at the time that it did. Especially considering that his age.
I don't think it's that weird that a prominent false dragon would be like almost as powerful as Rand. That doesn't seem
stronger
as
than
crazy.
stronger than Samael, stronger than Asmodean, stronger than like every woman.
Yeah,
only in the sense of like the pattern wants you to maybe believe that he's possibly the Dragon Reborn. I don't know. I got
that impression when he was in the mansion with Rand.
Not at all.
Fighting off the Trollocs back.
Yeah, you get it there like the first time that he like really tells Rand tells him to kind of that's Logan, never mind. Or Tame. Because I always felt like Tame was stronger than Logan, which clearly is not the case necessarily, although we haven't gotten.
They do kind of talk about that. They talk about the rivalry between the two of them, don't they?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, big old dicks right against each other.
I thought the weirdest thing about Logan was it seemed like whoever wrote this entry went out of their way to constantly reference how good of a person he was, and he wasn't as bad as he was portrayed, and he was actually pretty good. And it
Logan was trash. Logan is trash. Sorry.
Well, yeah, but all right. But my point is, it made.
Thank you, Jenny.
My point that I'm making is that how he was. It almost seems like the person that wrote this entry did not agree with the way that Logan was portrayed. It's written in the last 3 books by maybe somebody different than Robert Jordan, and was going out of the way to change that.
I'd say Logan was trash before the final 3 books, because the dude
just because he hit that guy in the head with a rock.
He compelled women.
First of all, he compelled the women, but that's in the he compelled those women, and he didn't have to. You didn't need to do that. Which, we know it's unforgivable when someone does it to Rand, but it's apparently fine when Logain does it to multiple women and trains other people to do it to multiple women. But also, the dude who found out he could channel, he thought, okay, I'm the dragon. I'm going to start a bunch of wars to prove that I'm the dragon. He killed people while he was trying to prove that he was the dragon. Rand, one of the reasons I think Rand is a much better person than Logain is that Rand was I might be the dragon. I'm going to confirm that before I try to start a bunch of wars, because
Well, I want to say one thing that actually stood out to me in that Logain thing. It says, I wrote down the quote. He never really believed he was the Dragon Reborn.
Also, yes.
Which is
That makes it
interesting,
worse.
but
Even
that's
worse.
interesting to me
Yeah.
because in the show they seem to be portraying him as someone who did think he was the
Yeah.
dragon.
Yeah.
Also, it's a
So
Tame
far.
quote. I believe Tame says imagine Tame says, "Well, how could I know if I wasn't born on Dragon Mount? If I fulfilled the prophecies."
I would say
Yes.
Lauren in the show. I would
Right.
say you're right so far, but I mean, like they haven't written themselves into that corner yet for sure.
No,
like
no.
they're
Sure,
still
Yeah,
like,
for sure. Well, and
Yeah.
it could be just how we're perceiving him so far. But I
Yeah.
like the idea that he thought because of the taint, the insanity,
Yeah.
he thinks he is the actual dragon. He thinks that these are voices of past dragons. That's
Yeah.
much more compelling as a character in the
Mhm.
show to me.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
the changes to Logain's character in the show are way better to me than
Yeah,
Well, he's
I
a
love
more
Logain.
interesting.
being a mountain.
What if
Also, Logain
What if
himself as declares himself as the dragon in 995? So 3 years.
that was
before-
also
that doesn't make to me. It doesn't make sense unless he declared himself the dragon to himself and then spent a year jerking off. And then a year.
I'm the Dragon Reborn.
well.
Yeah.
It says he
Yeah.
was channeling as early as 992, which means he
Yeah.
was channeling like 6 years and barely went mad at all, which is
Yeah.
impressive.
It almost
Yeah.
makes sense that they do it early just because, like, I don't think you wake up and figure out you can pick up a rock and move it across the room and, like, well,
Yeah,
shit,
yeah.
I'm going to race an army. Like, you probably practice in the woods for a while or something.
Sure, but something's gonna go wrong. Where someone hears you accidentally set fire to the wrong pubic hair, and next thing you know, what happened here? You've got a long time to fuck up before. 3 years is a long time to do
Well,
it.
Yeah,
So what
when
it
only a
was a
fool
lord.
puts a burr into a saddle before they ride. You know what I mean?
Thank you.
All right.
Yeah. Great way to
So
end
what,
it.
so what if in
That's
the
what I guess
show-
for this week.
All right.
If you have any comments or questions, leave them below, and in theory, we'll get better at responding to them. You can listen to the audio version of the show wherever you get your podcasts. And the tWoTcast theme songs brought to you by the one and only Taffy Bennington and Andrew Bard of Time. Links to their stuff is also below. Thank you,
Also
Jenny,
below.
and thank you, Lauren, for being on the show. It was an awesome time. I laughed very hard, and I barely had to do any work.
Piece
Thank
of
you.
shit.
I had a great time. I think Jenny froze.
She did freeze. Well, she might be gone. Maybe she's gone. Well, links to their stuff is below. And thanks, guys, again for being on the show. It was awesome.
Thank you. It was a pleasure.
Join us next episode for more Wheel of Time, covering the Wheel of Time companion, the letter M, with definitely Maria. And we'll see who else.
Maria, who?
I'm Joe. Say goodnight, Jono.
Good night, Jono.
And Tom.
Do your math.
Oh,
Keep the
Jenny's moving
change.
again.
You
Yay,
feel me? Oh,
I'm
Jenny's
back.
back.
He's back.
Oh, thanks, Jenny, for being on the show.
Yeah, we actually let them say nothing at their exit, so good for them.
We love you guys. Thank you.
Jenny, thanks for being on the show.
Thank you for having me.
Love you. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Love y'all too.
Keep the change, you filthy animals.
Among the first to start, the tWoTcast was so smart to lovingly bash our favorite books. But that was long ago, and now they've grown the show, and now they got us in their hooks. Don't throw coins to these bastards, they need bars of gold at least. Someone please keep them afloat. Now let's listen as they once again ramble through a book. Let's get the fucking quote. One of them is Tom, but he is barely on. Sometimes he calls into the show. Another one is Jono. Is he their joker? Oh no. And Joe, is he the stupid one? Welcome to the tWoTcast. We will share our love for books and all our hate in every episode. We'll entertain you, make you laugh so hard you barely can stand up. That is the tWoTcast code.